Thrillbox is an immersive media platform. We've been producing 360 video content for 3 years. We have a distribution platform, we have an analytics platform, and we're working and creating a commerce platform for augmented reality, virtual reality, and 360-degree video.
When Thrillbox started 3.5 years ago, it was the beginning of a convergence of different processor technology with display technology for virtual reality headsets. And at the same time, we also had companies that were creating arrays of cameras to produce 360 video. So when Thrillbox first started off, we were very interested in the production and the distribution and the measurement of audiences who immerse themselves within 360 video content. During this phase, we saw an evolution within not only the camera providers creating their own iterations of these 360 video cameras, but we also saw an evolution in the stitching software. And with this evolution, there became greater and greater needs for us to have graphics processing power and actually just have better and more efficient compute as a whole. The first 1.5 years that Thrillbox was running, it was pretty much running out of either a back of a 3D printer workplace or in the my condo at my house, using consumer-grade gamer PCs with your traditional, top-shelf add-in board GPU.
A lot of the members or founders come from kind of the gaming and graphically accelerated cloud computing background. So they're used to building their own custom rigs and overclocking the GPUs and CPUs and kind of hacking things together.
When I first started working with Thrillbox and we were using a custom rig, we would hit render on a stitch, and it would take anywhere from 5 hours to sometimes 24 hours, and it would fail.
Multiple failures, lots of times you have to reboot the device, lots of time we're relaunching software. It was incredibly frustrating.
For true graphical fidelity in production, you need really consistent hardware and BIOSes ultimately. So they really came to the conclusion out of necessity, where all of their renders are failing or not even getting close to completed, that they needed Boxx, and pretty much anyone that really knew what they were doing or talking about pointed them in the Boxx direction.
Because they're Boxx. Everybody knows Boxx. Everybody knows a couple of things about Boxx technology too. First is, you're going to get a great product, and second is, there's no need for you to try to tamper or mess with it because it's not going to run as well as they've already set it up for you. So we were really excited whenever we received their products and noticed the actual decrease in time in post-production, an increase in the amount of time and capabilities on different software that we didn't have limit or access to being able to use before.
4K video, 60 frames a second, can easily take an hour to render an 8-minute video. Now we're doing it in about 20 minutes, and with the Threadripper we're doing it a little bit faster. When it comes to saving time, when it comes to trusting your hardware, that's been the biggest reason why we're fans. We're able to turn out projects and people go, wow, oh, you worked on that project? Yeah. Oh, you worked on this project too. So we're getting more and more projects in the door because we're able to get them out the door.
Russell actually went to Berlin for 9 days and shot a 3-day concert at the Zeiss Planetarium, and then another show at a former Soviet spy station. And when he got back, he had over 8 terabytes of footage. He was shooting with 2 red helium 8K cameras, 220-degree lenses, and then a Blackmagic Cinema 360-degree camera. So that was 3 Blackmagics. So he had 8 terabytes of footage and needed a new drive, a 10-terabyte drive overnight, and then had to dump all the content and return all the gear in a period of 48 hours. So we got the hard drive overnighted. He lands at 7 p.m. and was able to actually dump all the content onto the Boxx rigs in a period of 6 or 7 hours, return the cameras, and then already had rough stitch pieces in a period of 2 days. So it was an incredible turnaround considering he's working with 8K footage in a 360-degree format.
The immersive media industry as a whole has wildly evolved over the last 3.5 years. From the Oculus DK1 launching off on Kickstarter and creating a pop culture moment that actually was acquired by Facebook for billions of dollars, to now where we're at, where we're discussing ways that we can use mobile devices and have mobile HMDs. It's been quite a ride. Thrillbox has been very blessed in that our approach has always been one where we try to look at the future of the industry and identify certain holes that we think exist that we can help to enable creatives to have direct access to audiences and direct access to revenue. So when we first started, we were very interested in enabling accessibility and global distribution of content through the use of web-driven 360 video players and also native 360 players from the mobile app economy. But as we went through this evolution, we noted that while people were excited about the novelty of the medium, they didn't actually have the engagement metrics that they needed to prove that there was a return on the costly investment in producing the content. So Thrillbox, being agile in our nature, decided to pivot and actually really focus a lot of our efforts on providing a platform and device agnostic streaming data management platform that allows our clients to actually measure the engagement of users and what they view within immersive media like 360 video or virtual reality. But that really wasn't enough, because once we got into this situation, there's a lot of things that have changed in the last 6 months. For example, we have different internet service providers making new claims on what type of limits they're going to provide on broadband to consumers on their mobile devices for streaming content. So if in a world where 6 months ago I was excited about creating a 360 video and being able to distribute it globally, it was at 22 megabits per second, which that's not going to be accessible to anyone in the world of 2018. So we're very fortunate that we've been able to actually build on top of our data-centric solutions to create a workbench that provides our clients not only access to content management and publishing services, but also access to live streaming services, compression, analytics, as well as spatial audio tools, and a couple other microservices that we'll be announcing within the upcoming quarters.
But we think that'll start with companies like Boxx, because these are what creatives are using to produce this content. So with our workbench in Boxx, it's kind of the ultimate combination for producing immersive media. And I think with our workbench and then just Thrill Studios itself, we're able to kind of understand the mind and workflow of immersive media that is definitely a little bit different than standard 2D video.
Without Boxx, I don't think that Thrillbox or Thrill Studios would exist. You know, most companies, when they send us a project, they expect us to deliver it faster than the next. And if we don't, then we might lose out on that bid, or we might lose out on the next project. And so it's really important to us that we deliver quality on time, and it's also important that, you know, we don't spend all day here anymore. It gets tiring to spend the whole day worrying and waiting, and so we just want to be able to work on it, finish it, and go home.
And with Boxx, their workflow first, I guess you could say, that it's always the creatives that are using it, and they're always working to optimize their machines down to the BIOS. So it was just an inherently different conversation from Boxx and Dell, where Dell's more concerned about the corporate and commercial end, and Boxx is more concerned with creating a better product, which ultimately keeps their company on the cutting edge.